It was definitely the way to do it was to get the core group that really wanted to trial this and to keep them going. And I remember conversations with some of them about how difficult it was and how irritating it was and how they wanted to go back to the old system and the old system was faster and more productive and they're going to lose 25% of their productivity, etc. And I just had to take the hit and I just had to accept that till they got used to it, until they produced their speed levels that they'd had previously, they were going to be slower. And I had to make them realise that was fine, that we had a project to run and we had to develop this and work it through.
Right.
Looking back on that, with a bit of sort of hindsight, we had to do that. We had to get those leaders to actually get in there and make a difference. But I know that there are still a number of them that are not using the system properly.
So I'm hearing that it's a kind of, if it differs from doctor to doctor, then the ones who are keen and motivated to learn, they'll learn and pick it up quite quickly. But if you force the ones who don't want to take it on to use it exclusively, then we might have some trouble.
They all knew that they had to do this because the whole of the East Midlands moved towards this system. Every single trust changed its dictation system. Every single trust changed its basic equipment and reporting structure. So they knew they had to do it. And what we tried to do was get the motivated ones first to show the others how it could work and how effective they could be.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Simon, can I jump in with a quick question?
Go ahead.
Sorry, George. Can I ask, do you have, or while you were kind of ramping up or whether once it was fully ramped up, did you have doctors that would chop and change? So one day or for certain reports, they might do it themselves and then other days they might use the outsourced service. Was that a functionality that you had?
We had it, but we didn't want it. We tried to get them to move to the new service and just basically dictate and edit themselves. To be honest, I think it was the choice of this. Some days they got stressed and they got really difficult and they flipped back to the old way. So we tried not to, but we did have it, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. If you could, if you were tasked with doing this again now, kind of knowing what you know, what do you think the ideal method would be to take a doctor, kind of induct them into what they need to know, to take up voice recognition and get them kind of going? And how would you do that in practice?
Yeah, the most successful approach that we had in the end was once we got one site that was running and working properly, we took the key members of each other site, took them on a visit, sat them down with the radiographers and actually had a conversation about how it's working. We've got the radiologists to talk to each other. We set up like a group, a WhatsApp group, and some sort of meeting groups where they talked about their experiences and what they found and how difficult things was and what shortcuts they developed, etc. And the learning and the training they did themselves. So it was very much about sharing what we wanted them to do with other professionals of the same ilk to get them to actually share and learn from that. And when we first started it, we couldn't really find that many people that were doing this as much as we wanted them to. So we actually took them to meet a group of A&E consultants who were doing it themselves, who were dictating in A&E at the same time as seeing patients and using that software. And we were saying to them, if you can do it, as a clinician in front of patients with all the distractions of an A&E department, surely, you can do it, if we give you a little room and your cockpit and all the things you need. So it was also about showing them what other services were doing.
Right. So they can see that it works and how it works, and you get better acceptance. Sure.
Yeah.
Have you? You must be familiar with this concept of macros or templates, where you can kind of pre-populate part of your report.
Indeed. Yeah.
How are those currently used, or what's your understanding of kind of
every single service developed their own template. They basically got to a stage where they'd actually designed their templates, produced them, we got them standardized,